Hello and welcome back to the Foot Soldiers podcast. As always, my name is Luke. I'm joined once again here today by Sean and Conrad. And this is it. It's April 1st as we record this, which means there are just a few days until the season starts. Easter Sunday, Christ will rise and so will the Cavs from the ashes of a offseason that felt way too short at points. But we're back anyway. Pacific away, 4 p.m. in Langford. How are we feeling about Sunday, Sean?
We are feeling fantastic. I think, Cavalry typically doesn't win games in April. In fact, I think we haven't won a game in April, but I am confident in saying that streak will break on Sunday. I think Pacific are a terrible team. I think Cavalry I'm not totally sure what Cavalry are, but I think they are by far the strongest team. And I think we're going to have a big win in front of a very small crowd on Easter Sunday.
Well, that's assuming that a certain team that plays on the island remembered to pay their bill to the city of Langford. Or like, I can't ever remember what it's Langford, right? Yeah.
It is Langford, yeah.
Yeah.
Langley, Langston.
Yeah, it's something cannabis, weed, BC, rabble. Anyways, yeah, it'll be interesting because, yeah, as you said, kind of almost feels like there has to be some league whipping team in the CPL every year that's like threatening to go out of business. And this year it happens that we no longer have Winnipeg, so we had to get Pacific. So yeah, going against what seems to be the market that seems to be failing for no apparent reason. Well, I think we all know the reason, the fact that they aren't playing in Victoria, but it really is going to be a David versus Goliath, and as always, we seem to get Cavalry as Goliath.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it's. I mean, we're gonna get into the power rankings and season full season predictions later on. But yeah, I do have Pacific last on my power rankings. A little spoiler here. I do agree with you, Sean. I do think the boys will be ready to go. I think especially on Easter, like it's gonna be a terrible crowd. But they don't get good crowds at the best of times, but especially on a holiday. So we're gonna get into this episode. We're gonna have a bunch of like over/under predictions for the season, but we'll just start with a little fun one here. Over/under 1,500 people on Sunday in Victoria.
I'm actually gonna take the over on that one. I joke about 300 people, but they tend to get big crowds for the first game of the season, so I think that'll be an over. I don't think it'll be a lot over, but
I don't think there's been a lot of money put into the promotion of this match, let alone the roster construction for Pacific this year. But even with that, it is still something to do in Langford, something to do in Victoria, which is sleepy at the best of the times. So I think they'll draw at just over that number. I think the bookie has set a good line there, Luke.
There you go. Well, I will take just under then, just because I do think just like the holiday factor of people, especially in the island, like, oh, I'm with my family, I'm not going outside. I have no idea what the weather's gonna be like too, but hopefully I hope I'm wrong. Hopefully they get over, but we'll have to just kind of see what happens with that. And for it's not been a ton of other Calvary news. It's obviously only been like a week since the last time we recorded this. Looks like the away kits are coming out in a couple days. Looks like some kind of white
Dinosaur.
kit. That'd be kind of cool.
That's what they did say on their release, built in the Badlands. So you have to think either dinosaurs or hoodoos. Take your pick on what side of the coin that one lands on. And for as much as everyone kind of ridiculed the secondary kits for a lot of the league, the teams have been given pretty much artistic freedom with it. So if they want to claim that the ATCO Field is the closest technically by virtue of being the only team in Alberta that's close to Dinosaur National Park, we'll take it. Give me the T-Rex I'm gonna eat you kit to take on who was it that has a bear on their kit for the last few years?
That was Pacific a couple years ago.
Yeah, so I guess we just need to take up that mantle too from the team that isn't going to do anything this year.
Shout out Valley Brewing in Drumheller. We were there at the Tyrell Museum this last summer, and it is a great spot. So if you're ever in Drumheller, which you will be wearing that Badlands kit, go check it out. Little plug, we're looking for sponsorships, so
Yeah, how many flights did you have out there, Sean?
Yeah, I just had the one because we had to drive back, but it's a nice spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I really love Dinosaur Forest Park. It's probably one of my favorite places in the world. So if we do get some kind of like maybe a nice little like kind of gray, nice little simple design, a nice Badlands themed kit. I think that'd be pretty sick. Um, I'm just looking forward to seeing it. To be honest, it'd be nice if we had it to talk about here, but it is what it is.
But Sean, speaking of the kits, you picked up the new kit. I know a lot of people were scared about the quality that we were going to expect with Hummel. Why don't you could you touch on that?
Yeah, so I picked up the kit today. So after pestering them a couple days ago, they shipped it out within minutes. I think that's coincidence, but yeah, it's actually it's really good quality. So it's kind of a thicker material, hard to explain over a podcast, but it feels a lot less like Macron kind of felt like almost like a thin sort of if it's the type of jersey you'd wear on 30 degrees. This one feels like something you wear in the spring and the fall. It's kind of heavier to it. The sizing is different. We were kind of recommended to go a size down, and that didn't really seem to be the case. So when I tried it on, so normally I'm a small for Macron. I tried an extra small for Hummel, and the sleeves were bigger, but the fit is very tight. So I guess I'm gonna have to go in on the 12th and get it replaced. So, but from my experience, I think these seem to have a lot of good quality to it, and I'm pumped to wear it. I'm almost like scared to wear it because it's like so nice the material. So, Luke, if you want to chuck a beer on me the first game, I think we can just get over that. And, yeah.
As Tommy said, it's kind of a kit that is that first year kit, but they fixed the colors. So I think a lot of fans are actually kind of, now that we've seen it, we're accepting that, hey, it is plain compared to especially the Wild Rose kit, but it is kind of that what we've always wanted as fans and have never quite got.
Well, and there's some little chevrons in it too. So I'll go. My closet's right behind me here. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'll go bring it up, and just to show folks on this podcast that we can listen to. We'll do some little described audio here.
Yeah, well, I think I agree. Like I just kind of want to feel it myself. So whoever I see wearing it first is gonna get touched because I want to feel the kit. But
You, Brad and Sean at the ship, they're just gonna get all
yeah,
kinds of handsy with Luke time.
yeah, Sean, we can't really see that. It's the green screen's not really.
Yeah, Sean tried to. For those of you who didn't see it, and Sean didn't have his headphones on, it got green screen deleted. So we're
RIP. So it looks better than it does on my webcam for sure. But yeah, it's a nice thicker material, so it'll be great for these winter. Well, it's going to be a winter game on the 12th. Let's be honest here. So,
Yeah.
And then the fall games. So, and then you switch to the ones from like 2021 that weren't that nice. You can wear those all summer and sweat all over them and be disgusting. So, yeah.
I think the only one who's not too pleased is we got Mark Alicious, who was upset that the secondary kit was not going to be black again. So we got one dissenter already on the away kits.
Oh yeah, like I said, I am really kind of looking forward to being able to see one in person. The only thing, just kind of seeing the picture starting to come in, I do think the sleeves look a little busy with the logo and the flag and the two sponsors, but that is what it is. I'll have to have a look at see if I decide to get one or not. But yeah, like I said, Calvary Pacific away, 4 p.m. at Starlight Stadium. Watch parties will be in all the usual places. So if you want to take a break from your family on Easter Sunday, come down to the ship and have a few pints, watch the game. But yeah, I don't think there's too much else to say for just general Calvary news going into the first game of the year. So we can start getting into, I think, some predictions for this year. I have a list here of about 12 or so little things we can try and predict. I don't know if we're going to get through all of them, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start off here with the points total for the year. For context, last year we got 42 points. The year before we got 48. 2023 we won the Shield. Obviously, we got 55 points. And 2022 we got 47 points. So I'm setting the line at over under 46.5 points.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to peg him at 45. So
I think with the skill level that, looking at a lot of people's predicted opening day rosters for this Cavs team, I think we're gonna go over. I think again the bookie has set a real tight line, but I think we get over that number.
Yeah, and I will also be taking the over just because again, looking at the table from last year, I unfortunately Forge and Ottawa were far and away the best two teams, and they were able to get up to 58 points and 56 points. But I really do think that we can do like 46 and a half. That's really 2 wins better than last year, which I don't think is. I think we'd all agree last year was kind of a disappointing year. Um, and again, like I know that everyone else in the league has gone stronger, but I also think we've probably gotten a bit stronger. So I do think that we can get over that margin. For the second one I have here, it's more of an open ended one. Just who do you think is going to win the Foot Soldiers Player of the Year?
I gotta think about this for a second because
Okay, I can go first.
I voted for the loser the last couple of years. So
yeah, so did I.
I voted for Shom last year, and I had Aaron the year before. Aaron should have won. He was robbed because he won originally, and then Stu opened up the voting for a little more, and then Toby snuck in there because I think Aaron won by like 1 vote or something. So I will forever begrudge.
Yeah. Stop the count.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I'd like to go last on this one if we
okay,
can.
I'll go first then if you guys want to think about it. So I have Gote and Tigney on this. Kevin maybe a little bit outside pick, but he was very, very good in the half season he was with us last year. He even got a few votes. I think the only reason he didn't get more votes is just because he's only on the team for half the year and only could obviously make a pretty limited impact. But he was great for the team. Like the first half of 2023 and the last half of last year, like that's a pretty good season. And again, obviously, I could say like Klomp is the obvious pick, but that's a bit boring. So I'm going to say Gote and Tigney. I think he'll have a monster year this year.
And that was actually the first name that came to mind for me as well was Gote and Tigney. So you know what, I'll agree with you there. He was if he regains the form he had last year, once he started, I think he's a shoo-in.
Okay, because this leaves me to leave my hot take that I asked to go last. Somebody who I think is going to play his first real season in his natural position is young, and I think showed really brief spurts of excellence last year. And I'm going to pick Eric Kobza. I think Eric Kobza is going to finally step up and be a solidifying force for this midfield. Like, as we said, that's the biggest piece of transition we've had on this club. So I think if Eric Kobza is playing full-time as a central defensive midfielder, going to be that distribution point this year for Tommy in this team, I think he has a good shot of taking a big step forward.
Yeah, it's definitely an intriguing point there because obviously with Shamit Shom no longer on the team, he's now our most veteran midfielder on the team, right? Unless I'm forgetting someone, but you're right because now he looked pretty good in the defensive midfielder role last year once he got off the center back. We'll have enough center backs. He probably will never have to play there this year. If he's playing center back this year, something's gone horribly wrong. Yeah, like I could certainly see that happening. It's an interesting shout there, Conrad.
I appreciate the off the board pick. I 100% appreciate that. So thanks for doing that for some good listening.
Yeah, and the other thing is, will we see Kobza get more involved in the offense with him being in a midfielder's role full time? Because I think having Kobza, Didic both being able to go and get up for some of these set pieces, we finally are starting to have height in the box, which we haven't had since we had Zator on this club. Like, no offense to Klomp, he's still a big dude, but like, of course, we had a certain striker who was tall and tan and big on Instagram, and Marcus Haber, but I don't think there was a big enough sample size for one of our Canadian national men's team cavalry pipeline. But yeah, like I think that's someone that not a lot of people are going to give a lot of credit to before the season starts.
Yeah, something to watch there for sure. Moving on to the next one, our striker, Tomas Warshevsky. Last year, he scored 11 goals in the league. I think it was kind of a bit of an off year, but he still got 11 goals. His first year for us, he got 14 goals and won the Golden Boot. So the line on this, I'm setting in the middle, over under Toby Warshevsky, 11 and a half goals in the league.
Did he really score 11 last year? Like
I couldn't believe it.
In the middle. I know that's.
Yeah, considering his dry spell, that's incredible.
Yeah.
No. So I looked it up. I couldn't believe it either. I originally set the line at 9.5, but I looked it up. That would have been his worst season for the year. So I set up to 11.5 just looking at FotMob.
He scored more in Edmonton. He scored more than 9 in Edmonton, or is that just
no? This is just his figures for Calgary.
Because that team couldn't score.
No, but that's not his fault though.
No, it isn't. I'll take the lead on this one. I think he'll be over 11.5. I think based on his preseason where he's already scoring goals for fun, of course, as we said in the last episode, what do we think about the competition we faced? We have no idea. But I think with the form that start front four was in last year of Camargo, Musi, Warshevsky, and Intingi, I think we're going to not see the slow start and hopefully not see the doldrums through the middle of the season that I think will allow Toby to take that golden boot right back and put it on his shelf.
Yeah, and I think given the fact that I had no idea he scored 11 goals last year, I think I'm pretty confident with the under, or sorry, with the over, because again, complete jaw dropping at that statistics. I thought he had 8 for the year, so yeah, I'll take the over.
I will complete that and also take the over, just because again, like I was shocked he got 11 last year. So if he was able to have what seemed to be that bad of a year, getting 11 goals, it's hard to imagine he won't do better this year. And again, I think a big part of that last year too was kind of like the putrid attack we had in large parts of like the middle of like June and July, before the signing of Intigny, obviously, and when I think Moose missed a bit of time last year too. So during that little bit. But I think if we have, again, the depth we have now in the forward roles, he'll get a lot more service than he did last year. I think it's hard to imagine he doesn't get over that. So I'm just trying to see. Okay, here's a fun one. Next, first red card. I can go first on this one. I'm going to say Tommy Wilden Jr. I think he's going to forget about the new offside rule and just lose his mind over a goal that would be offside of the old rules and get a 3-match ban and a red card for that.
You know what? I'm going to say Didic. Center back, he's gonna be beat on a last man. What is that? Denial of goal scoring. Last man beat. And he's gonna haul his
dog. So
there you go. Yeah, I'm gonna say Didic.
I think somebody that seems to be a little bit of a yellow card magnet when he's been healthy, and we're hearing from training camp that this might be the healthiest we've ever seen, Mael Henry. I think he is going to see the red mist and take a red. However, I did have to go between him and Brad because I love Brad. We all know this. Like this is secretly the Brad Camden supporter cast. Like we know this to be true, but we'll have to see. There's a lot of pace in this league, and hopefully Brad's knee is completely healthy. And he has the foot speed, but I could see him taking 2 yellows. Again, a dog so foul for Brad.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I do think, again, like, if you're listening, Brad, I love you, but, yeah, again, like, you are, unfortunately, he's a little bit easy to wind up. We all remember last year, the Ottawa game, and he just kicked a teenager in the nuts, which was very funny stuff.
Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Fucking Calgary. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the second man of the year Pacific. Just fucking very funny stuff. But yeah, obviously, no one gets a red card. But on that front, next one I have here, Ali Musi, obviously probably the big re-signing of the offseason. Big goal creator for the team. He has been for a very long time. His assists total. Last year he got 7. 2024 he got 4. 2023 he got 7. 2022 he got 3. So it's kind of a little bit back and forth. I'm saying the line at 6.5 assists in the regular season.
This is a number that I think we will see a dramatic jump in, purely because we do not have Fraser Aird on the set pieces anymore. I think there will be a lot of set piece assists for Ali, especially, as I said, we got height in the box now. You got a big, tall man standing in the center of the field, put it to his head. Let's let Amir Didic go get a bunch of headed goals. I think that number has to go.
I'm actually going to say it's going to go down, not because I don't think our attack won't improve, but I just think it's going to be spread around a little bit. So I'll take the under on that one. I think Tigny's going to get a bunch. I think Camargo's going to get a bunch. I think Elva might get 1 or 2. So yeah, I'm going to take the under on that one.
And doesn't Jay Herdman have like 3 in the preseason as well? Like
I completely have forgotten he plays for this team. So every time I see his picture on the roster, he's wearing the Vancouver shirt, and I'm like, what? Like, you don't play? Yeah, you do actually. So, and Mael Henry, I always forget too because he's injured half the year. So you're always like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. He's awesome for like that 10-game stretch, and then he gets hurt. So I hope sincerely that he has no injuries this year. So if he does, you know what? I'm going to say here's a hot take. Mael Henry is going to get more assists than Ali Musi if he's healthy.
We're talking about healthy, and we didn't bring up Kinesia Alva. Like, let's.
Well, but he's a striker. He plays striker for us, so I don't think he's going to be. Yeah.
We'll play his 10 games as much as his legs will allow him to.
Get his 5 goals or whatever in those 10 games. So we'll be like, oh, what could have been?
Yeah, there's definitely some really good points there. I will just point out, push back a little bit on the set B thing, because in 2022, when Fraser returned to ACL, last year Moosey got 3 assists all year. So I'm not necessarily. I'm going to take the under. Again, because what Sean says is correct. I do think it's going to be spread around a little bit more. We have a lot of more attacking options. Even Harry Payton got 2 assists in preseason, right? So we'll have to. I'm not obviously that's not going to translate necessarily to the season, but you never know. I'm also just thinking the under just because he's no longer playing for a contract like he was last year. I do think the 2 years he set his highest records were the years he was playing for a contract. So we'll have to kind of see what goes on with that. What do we want to do next? We'll do this one. So we have obviously a new goalkeeper, Nathan Ingham, coming over from Atletico Ottawa. Clean sheets. In the 6 full seasons he was here, not counting the COVID year, Marco Carducci recorded 7, 8, 8, 10, 7, and 9. Nathan Ingham obviously has Amadich and Dan Klump in front of him. I'm sitting the line at 8.5 clean sheets for the year for Nathan Ingham. And another follow-up question, do you think he hits more or less than Marco?
I will take the under, and I think he's going to get more than Marco.
So under, but you think he'll be better than Marco in Halifax. Halifax, that back line is shocking. So
exactly. I think Marco's going to get like 3 clean sheets all year. So
yeah. When your most known defender that's listed thus far is TMG, like but I am gonna take the over. I think Nate is historically an under-respected goalkeeper across the league. Like, I think he's kind of been one of the best, if not the best, the entire time he's been here, man bun and all. Like, if we have to go all the way back to that era. So we'll have to see if his hands go soft from pouring so many drinks at Foxtrot, but I think he'll be over 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Card here. I'm also going to take the over. That was a story question in the Marco thing. He's obviously going to get more clean sheets than Marco. But I do think we'll get over 8.5 clean sheets. I agree with almost everything you said there, Conrad. I think he probably should have 2 Gold Gloves. 2022, I think he was unfortunately better than Marco. And then I think, what was it? It was last year or the year before. I think it was last year when Collier won it for Forge, just because he had a great defensive front of him, not necessarily because of anything he did. But yeah, I think just having Didic and Klomp, if Didic stays healthy all year, that's I think the best center back pair in the league. They'll stop a lot of goals just that way. And again, obviously the home field advantage like at Atco, we'll have to see what happens with that. I guess we'll stay with the goalkeeper theme then. We did talk about this a little bit last week, but I'm going to say Joe Holiday over under 1.5 league games played.
Under.
I'm going over, Sean. I think we played 3 games against the Eagles still, right? So I think he'll get at least 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna
take the under. I think he gets at most 1 start.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. If it was all competitions, I'll maybe say over, because I think he'll probably get the start in the cup, just to give him a game and maybe 1 in the league. But I agree with you there, Sean. Okay, another kind of on that theme. Over under 0.5 appearances for Fraser Aird anywhere in the CPL.
I'll take the under on that one too.
Has he officially signed with Foothills yet?
No, I've heard rumblings. He's there, but I don't think we've heard anything.
Is he just on the generational I'm Tom Field, I'm gonna play a year in Foothills, bag a whole bunch of goals in whatever competition they're in, and then make my triumphant return, telling you, screw Father Time, I am the one man to defeat you? Like, I just middle fingers up the whole way. I'd be down for it. Other than the Oilers suck, so Fraser under half an appearance.
Yeah, I am going to take the over just for shits and giggles. I think, you never know. Some team might have an injury crisis and give them a call, give the old man a call. You never know what could happen with that. Yeah.
The only person who's calling him is Martin Nash, and I don't think that's an adventure that Fraser wants to go on.
He could have that mentality. I can fix them. Yeah, but probably not. Just a little fun one there. This one's maybe a less fun, more of a sad one. Home defeats in the regular season for Calvary. Last year we lost 3 games at home in the league. The year before we lost 1. 2023 we lost 1. 2022 we lost 4. Over under 1.5 league defeats at home in the league.
I'm going to take the over on that one, but I don't think it's going to be a lot over.
I'm taking the under. This is an undefeated season at home. I am calling it now. Will that mean we'll win every match at home? No, I don't think we're going to put up. I think it'll be a 0 in that category. Come at me, haters. I'll take the under.
I will also take the under. I'm not going to say we're going undefeated at home. I'm not going to go that far. But I think, we'll lose. It'll probably be to Vancouver that we lose a game to, and then just go undefeated to everyone else. But yeah, so another one I have here is, what do you think will be the biggest league win of the year? Because last year, I believe we had a couple games in May when we won 4-0 over Valor and Pacific. You don't have to say necessarily who it's against, just like what do you think the margin of our biggest win will be?
I'm going to go with 9. No, I'll take a 4-goal win, maybe like a 5-1 or something. We'll catch a team on a bad stint there.
Sean, I thought you were going to say 0-8 because we need to replace that lovely song.
No.
Now that we don't have
rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Trust me, you and my housemates feel the same about the Alouette song.
Half the team will be, half the supporter stand will be like, "Oh, thank God," and the other half will be like, "What? First of all, it took up like 4 minutes of time, which is like very tough for a song to do." And I feel like if the drunker you were, the more you enjoyed that song. So yeah.
Is that why sober Mark did not like that song at all? Like,
yeah,
that guy doesn't play anymore.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
A few less of those shouts in the stands. But in all reality, I think it will be 4 goals, but I think it will be a 5-1. I will put that out in the universe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit under. I'll say 3, but I think we beat Forge 3-0 at home again, like we did a few years ago. That was a great game. I just love that to be our biggest win of the year. We're almost at the end of what I have here before we get into the power rankings. Best U21 player for the Cavs.
I'll go with Perlman. I think that's an easy pick, but I don't think he's going to be the only one that impresses, but I think he'll be the best one.
Owen Antoniuk, I think we'll see a lot more play this year, and I think he will be the top U21. Actually, is he still U21? How does age work? So yeah, we'll go with Antoniuk. I think
it's in the field anyway.
Yeah, he's my pick.
He's actually not a U21. He's a 2002. So disqualified.
Invalid pick. Okay,
all your answers disqualified. I am the winner.
Then James McGlinchey, give me some more ginger power for the Cavs.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. I'll go. I'll be an Emery Hobart. I'll go Nico Moroniuk on this one. And the last one I have here before the power rankings, it might depress you a little bit, but obviously the last 2 finals we lost to an Olympico in the snow, and an Olympico in Hamilton, and we lost to a Bicycle in the snow. What crazy way do we lose the final this year?
Well, we've had an own goal one as well that has been impactful. So I'm gonna say that if we're gonna lose on like a worldie from center field. Like that's just how it has to happen. Just absolute rocket from the midfield line.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a scramble in the box, and it's gonna be a ball off of Dan Klomp's face and into our own net. So it's gonna be an own goal from Dan Klomp, and it'll be such a hard shot. It'll break his nose, and we'll go with that.
There you go. I have a vision here. I'm going to say it's going to be 0-0 through normal time. We'll go to extra time. We'll score really early on extra time. It'll be like the 123rd minute. They're going to send their goalie up in the penalty box. The goalie's going to score a goal to tie it. It'll go to penalties, and we'll lose the penalty shootout. That's my prediction for how we're going to lose the final this year. But yeah, with that being said, that's the end of my little thing here. I think that was a little bit of fun. We can come back to this obviously at the end of the year, see which ones we were right on, which ones we were wrong on. But yeah, so I think it's time now to get into the power rankings. So the standings predictions, essentially. I don't know what the best way to do. If we want to go everyone say their 8th pick, or we want to go everyone on their own.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do position by position. Yep.
Okay, so I'll start off with eighth place. I'll go first. Uh, I'll just start off by saying, like, the way I see it, I think there's really three tiers of teams in the league this year. The two teams at the bottom, I think, are the left coast teams, the Pacific and Vancouver. I think it's really take your pick of who's gonna be worse between them. But as I kind of alluded to earlier, I'm gonna go Pacific at the bottom just for never won the wooden spoon before. A little bit of silverware. First team to win the league and the wooden spoon. So
I'm gonna follow you on that one. I think they have the two combined worst keepers in the league, and I think keepers determine so much in this league. Like Elias Himras has not been him anywhere he's been. It's 6'5" for what? Again, another backline where Caden Chung is your best defender is not where you want to be in the CPL. Greco Taylor fans, get at me. There's just not a lot to love there. And hey, like, if you encouraging Josh Hurd and Marco Bustos to be your, and I guess Alejandro Diaz as well, to be your scoring punch, you're living in the wrong year in the CPL. So, hey, Ronan Kratz back in the league though. Let's go. Sabumafu, mother trucker, like.
I'll keep the sweep here. I was gonna make a joke about how Forge is last place because I don't want to talk about them, but that's not a serious pick. So let's make it a clean sweep. I think Pacific were terrible last year. They haven't improved. They can't pay their bills. So they obviously didn't bring in anyone who could really enhance the attack. Their big signings from last year. I still like Caden Chung, but Bustos was an absolute flop, and Diaz is. Seems the last couple of years he hasn't been as prolific as he was a couple of years ago. So yeah, I'll take them at last place as well.
And wearing number 99 in Canada. What a tool.
Put it on your spreadsheet, Luke. Put it on your spreadsheet. Just cross it off. It's banned.
there you go.
No, they have a worse number. Like at 99, I can understand someone's already wearing the number 9 kit on your squad. You pick 99. But who is a striker and wears 64? Yan Tuali.
No, he really loves the binary, whatever, the power of two kind of thing. So we'll have to.
I mean, at least it's no 69, right? Like
oh, there you go. Yeah,
there you go. I'm just waiting for. Like, you're an unserious player. Like you play rec soccer. Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, in 10 years, it's going to be some like 17-year-old picking number 67. So that's going to be really fun. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like the name, if this was a team in 2022, like, Caden Chung, Alejandro Diaz, Marco Bustos, that would have been. Fortunately, it's just
they're trying to bring back the gang from 2021, and it's 2026 now, and in a few years. So again, I still like Caden Chung, but his best years are behind, I think.
Yeah, they lost some time a little bit. That brings us now to 7th. As I alluded to, I think Vancouver FC will finish 7th. Marty Nash, you never know. He could wheel them to hopefully more than 4 league wins in the season. I think they'll get more points than they did last year. Not by much, but
yeah, I agree. I think they'll do better than last year. I think their squad has improved. They just signed someone who was completely washed up from the Premier League.
Lise Mousset.
Yeah, and he played for, was it Sheffield or
It wasn't even that long ago. Like it was. I he was playing like during COVID. He was playing for Sheffield.
Yeah, and like I think the last thing he played was for Bose in Ireland. I follow the League of Ireland quite a bit, and they did not rate him at all. And that's about a level that's similar to over here. But I think they have a better squad. I just don't think it's that much better. So they're really more in 7th because of how bad Pacific is versus that they've improved much.
And I think this will be the one place where we may differ, because I do not believe in the project that Supra are building whatsoever. I don't believe that Sean Rea and David Chouanier are going to mesh to a point that this team is going to have a successful first year. I also am a strong believer in having a home field. Like, shout out to what we've built at ATCO, but traveling around the province as much as this team is not going to allow them to establish that let's protect this house mentality. I also wonder about their backline. Like, D&D Nabsy, sure, he's great. Who else is around that backline? I think Supra are going to have a rough first year, and I just don't think the depth is there. Like what happens if David Chouanier picks up a knock early on? what's going to happen for goal production on that team. So I believe it will be Supra.
Ooh, okay. I'm tracking this, by the way, so that we can all come back to this. So I hope are you writing it down too, Luke?
Yeah, I'm writing it down here. I don't know if
We got
I'll
a fancy
remember the sheet, but
we got a fancy little graphic up for socials.
yeah, I'll take a picture. Yeah, there you go. That'd be good promotion, actually. But yeah, so I think just because those spawned to us, so I was thinking now I'll get a little bit more different. So now I'm in my what I'm calling the something new tier, like teams Supra, Toronto, and Halifax. And I think of those teams, I think Halifax is the worst. I have Halifax coming sixth. For me in my Premier League table, I just don't rate Vanny Sortini at all. I like the vibes he brings, but he doesn't have a winning record against Cavalry. First of all, I think they signed an average goalie. I'm really just not overly impressed with the moves they made for a team that was a bubble playoff team last year and got trounced in the first round. So
I just want to say, get out of my head, because I have Halifax in sixth as well. I mean, they lost their top scorer, they lost their best attacking player, they lost other players. I just can't think off the top of my head who else they lost, but they had a quite a bit of roster turnover, and they were one of those teams that was like on the bubble to even get into 4 versus 5, and I think they only got 4 on like the last day of the year or something. So they don't impress me that much. So I have them out of the playoffs as well. Although I guess now there's only 4 teams in the playoffs, so it's not that exciting anymore.
And with me having put Supra down as low as I have, this is where I have to have the Eagles. However, I will say I think they need to move on from Callum Irving this year. I think it is going to need it to be a year where one of those 2 young guys, Matthias de Souza or the Colombian that they signed, have to take a step up. I will believe in Tom Field to the day I die. So maybe that's my little bias in this. And again, Maury Donor, will he see an extended role for this club? I also just wonder who's going to score goals on that team, though. Like, Terran Campbell was scoring goals for fun at times last year. So we'll have to see.
Well, there we go. Well, that now brings us to 5th place, which if this podcast was recorded 2 days ago, would have been the last playoff spot. But unfortunately, the leagues decided to switch it up on us. I don't know. I like the old playoff format. I think it was fun, a little bit different. And also I like it because we made 3 finals and it was there for 3 years. So you can't really question that. But yeah, 5th place. I'm going to have Supra in 5th place. I don't hate the moves they're making. I think they're certainly better than Vancouver was in the first year. Certainly better than obviously Ottawa was in the first year. I think they'll be. I don't think they'll get close to making the playoffs, but I do think they will be comfortably 5th place above Halifax.
I actually have Ottawa in 5th place, which I think is a bit of a bold one. I don't know anything about their goalie. They lost. I mean, I know they have some really good young defenders, but they lost, in theory, their best one in Didic to us. They lost the league's golden boot. They lost probably the league's best player in David Rodriguez, and the one that you see the most. And I'm not a big Balu Tabla guy compared to others, so I just think it's not going to gel like it did last year. I noticed their coach came out today and said they're going to win the league again, and I heavily disagree. But good.
Well, it's April Fool's Day.
Good fodder for that. So look, you got your snow game and your billion views, but not this year.
See, this is where I have Halifax. I think I may be the only person left in the league that believes that Jason Babambula is an elite goal scorer at this level. So I think he'll kind of hide a lot of the problems that this squad is going to have. I'm also really not big on Ryan Telfer, so we'll have to see how many minutes he gets out in Halifax. But yeah, this is where I foresee the kitchen again just missing out on the playoffs. And I know our friends over in Halifax are going to be absolutely nuts. Like, why can't we make a playoffs? I think this is another year where they just miss.
Well, there we go. That now brings us to 4th place, which is once again the last playoff spot. Still got the home game this year. The nice 2-legged semifinals. I have Inter Toronto in my 4th place side. I really, again, like I said, within the tier I have them in, I really like the moves they've made. Ollie Bass is maybe a little bit washed. We still probably better than what they were trotting out there before. I think Benny Banga rocks. I'm a big Benny Banga fan. I think he can win you games. Like he can single-handedly steal you 2 or 3 games just on that alone. And he'll have a vendetta against Forge whenever they play them, so he'll be fired up for that one. And yeah, I like kind of. I mean, obviously the rebrand, it's whatever, but I do think that will kind of spark some kind of motivation to maybe getting some fans out there, especially the World Cup year. And yeah, I have Inter Toronto taking my 4th place and the last playoff spot in my table.
I have Supra at number 4. I think they've got a couple of really good signings. Conrad, you might not rate Schwanier and Shanria, but I do. Absi's a question mark, given that he had 2 years for that doping ban, but I think he's in theory, if he can get back to the way he was, I think he's a really good signing as well. I don't think there's much in net. I think they just have one player who was playing in like Serie D or something, so that would be the big weakness for me. And then a bunch of CPL journeymen and folks from Quebec who we don't know about. And usually when you have some of these squads where you don't really know about a lot of the players and they're untapped resources, for lack of a better word, I think they tend to surprise. So I have them in 4th.
This is where I have Inter Toronto FC. My big debate between Halifax being up here and ITFC was, well, I think that the head coaching, I think Vanni Sartini is probably a better coach. No offense to the Estacchio family. Obviously, they have their roots to Calgary, with Mauro formerly being a Cav. But I thought that the big difference between these two is, what is Sholajimo this year? When he is in his full year as a pro, what is he going to bring? Like, Betty Banga and Jimo, I think, can obviously flip a game. If you have a full season of Max Ferrari and Ollie Bassett in the midfield, everyone forgets that the Ginger's back. And as it'll be interesting to see what this ITFC do. But I just couldn't put them any higher than 4th.
There you go. Well, that now brings us to 3rd place. And I said I kind of have. I have this is kind of my 3rd tier. It's kind of. I have Ottawa in 3rd place. I kind of think I have them in a different tier. They're probably closer to Toronto than the other two. Because I agree with almost everything you said there, Sean. I think obviously they've lost the best goal scorer, the best player, the best defender, their goalie. They looked like dog shit against Nashville, which, like, I know we got killed by Orlando, but it was nowhere near that bad, right? So but again, like, they are the champions. I really find it hard. Like, in my mind, maybe I'm too biased by last year and the hell I went through in Ottawa, but I really can't put them any lower than 3rd. But I do think they will be closer to Toronto than coming top 2. But again, we all remember 2022. Ottawa won the Shield. The next year missed the playoffs in a 5-team playoff, which was very, very funny stuff. We'll have to see what happens with that one.
Yeah, so I have Cavalry in 3rd. There's so much roster turnover, I don't really know what to think of it. So given that we have some fair number of high-profile departures with some unknown quantities coming in, I just don't really know what we are. I think we'll be better than last year. I don't think we'll be much better than last year. So I've got us in 3rd here. So, but we're still in the playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Just got to stay in that peloton, right, Sean? How many times have we heard that from Tommy?
Peloton.
But I have Atletico Ottawa here as well. I think we'll see about half a season of the Innocent Sir or Garçon Innocent experiment before those gloves hand all the way over to Tristan Crampton. And I believe that a former Cav is going to be the highest goal scorer for this Ottawa squad. In Jean-Anil Assis. I think we're going to see him, because he had some bright flashes.
Cavalry legend.
Yeah, he had some flashes with us in Cavalry Land, but I think this will be the first year that he truly has an opportunity to show up. And I have a hard time rating a Manny Aparicio-led team any lower than 3rd, just because as much as that man annoys me on the pitch, I think he is a consummate pro in the CPL. No matter how much I always want to punch him for how much shithousery he had when he was back in Pacific. He has a punchable nose.
Well, that's really funny stuff there from Conrad. That brings us now to the top two, second place. For those of you who are keeping track at home, I have only 2 teams left. I cannot bring myself to put Forge in first, so I'm going to put Forge at second. I think it's going to be a very, very close title race. They're unfortunately a very, very good team. Like we saw last year, they did kind of crumble in the big games under pressure, but then they kept most of their lineup. The Bobby thing, it's whatever. But I do think I don't want to talk about them too much, but I think they'll come second in a close title race.
Yeah, I have Toronto in second place. I actually think they're the one team in the league that's really improved this offseason, and it's nothing more than a gut feeling. So you, outside of maybe like Ollie Bassett, I can't think of anyone who's like a really big name that they brought in. So, but yeah, I have Toronto.
And you better wash your mouth out with soap after your first overall prediction if I've got it right in my head. I also have Forge in second place. I think they're going to be interesting this year, though. With losing with the roster turnover that they've had on the back line, I think you're going to be relying really heavily on Dan Nimick and Rezart Rama, which is a big change for Forge. And I think it's a step down. Kyle Becker is a 60-minute player at most now in the CPL, the elder statesman that we are going to have to yell shut up really loud in the first half because that's all we'll see of him. And what version of Brian Wright and Mo Babuli are we going to see? Because Babuli looked terrible in the Triple C. And nothing warms my heart more than seeing Brian Wright and most Babuli struggle. Not friends with rainbows, all that. But yeah, I think it will be a down year for Forge, which will allow other teams in that area, the Inter Torontos, Atletico Ottawas, and Cavalry to maybe pick the bones a little bit.
Well, there we go. That now brings us to first place in the league. There could only be one, in my view. It's your Valor FC, I think, will come first this year. I think they've done some great stuff in the offseason. Tremendous work on the stadium. It's looking great. Now, in all seriousness, I do have Cavalry in my first place. Just in my brain says otherwise. In my heart of hearts, I can't put them anywhere else. I think there's no way we're worse than last year. I think there's no way Forge will win as much as they do last year. I do think they did get quite. I mean, I don't want to say lucky, but I think they were fortunate to get as many points as they did. Maybe we even finish equal on goal differential, and it comes to, or equal on points, and it comes down to a head-to-head in a 3-0 win, maybe, like I alluded to earlier. But yeah, I do like the moves we've made. I think the team is better, and I think that again last year it kind of felt like a lot of the things that could have gone wrong did. This year, I think the tides of Lady Luck will change more into our side, and I do think we'll be lifting a shield in October here.
Yeah, and time for me to plug my ears for whatever Sean's gonna say here because I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, everyone throw a beer on him on Sunday or whenever the first game is.
Yeah, we all know how this league works. They're gonna fucking figure it out and finish first, and then they're gonna lose the final because the Shield never wins the finals. So.
Yeah, I guess that's enough said about that team. But I of course also have Cavalry. I think we'll see a better Jay Herdman. That will be an improvement in the striking alone. I think Harry Payton, no matter how much I don't rate the man off the pitch, I think he's a good add on the pitch. I also think Nathaniel Edwards is going to be sneaky good for us this year. I think he's somebody that's kind of getting overlooked in this whole shuffle. And then I think the one big question mark that's the only one I really have is at that right back position. How much are we going to see Curtis Ofori? How much are we going to have to play Michael Harms for that U23 minutes? And I think that's not a lot of questions for the squad to answer to finish in first place.
Yeah, and even I just think a full year of Gauthier and Antigone and Dan Klomp. Like I don't know the numbers on this, but I'd love to see like the stats, the points compared to when they were in the lineup compared to when they weren't. I think that we'd see a big difference there. And again, so like I said, everyone spit on Sean, throw beer at him, do whatever you want on the first game for putting forward first. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool if we could get this put up in a graphic or something. We'll talk about figure something out after, but yeah. Unless there's anything else to say, we Cavalry Pacific away on Easter Sunday, and we'll be back for another podcast to break down the first game of the year. And hopefully it'll be a winning podcast.
First win of the year. Let's go.
2-0 win Cavs.
Oh, yeah, I'll say 2-0.
I'm gonna go with 4-2.
Jesus. Okay, calling your shot there. All right, we'll talk to you next week.